You feel like the last 4 years of your life since 2020 haven't really felt like actual reality? This video is for you. I've seen a lot of videos on here, particularly from millennials, about how life since 2020 just hasn't, we almost can't even remember it. It doesn't really feel like it's been reality, and it's feel like it's been erased from our actual life. This is a very real phenomenon. It's something I've experienced myself, and I want to talk about it and hopefully help people out with it.
What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. I hope you're doing well. We're going to be discussing 2020 today and how life has just felt really strange ever since then, to be honest. It's been weird and things keep getting weirder and weirder. So, without further ado, we're just going to get right into it.
The cause of this phenomenon is the fact that we're not living life in reality anymore. 2020 smashed our existences into our phones and into the digital world, and we are no longer existing in our physical space and only dealing with problems that are within our circle of influence. We are living in a digital world that isn't even real. It's basically a video game, okay? And we're also exposed to all of the awful things that everybody across the entire world deals with all the time. We are still organic beings, and our brains have become completely connected to this artificial device. That's what's destroying it. We're not cyborgs. We'll eventually be cyborgs. We're not cyborgs yet. So the fact that our entire existence is attached to this piece of technology is awful. And even in situations where we actually live life, where we break out of our routine, where we go on a trip, where we, whatever, take a vacation, you're still locked into your same cycle of unhealthy behaviors. Even if you go on a trip, the whole time you're thinking about your phone, what's happening in the phone, what are you missing out on social media? Oh, well, people are going to love this trip I'm on. I got to make sure I take videos and I post it and I get likes and all this stuff. We are no longer actually living life in our physical space. We are living life through the phone. This is why life does not feel like reality. It's because we're not in reality anymore. Life just seems to basically disappear when you're trapped in a routine. We are all in a routine of our brains being just completely connected to whatever is happening within this device. And on top of that, we all experience all the issues that go on in the world all the time. That's not healthy, okay? If it's not within your circle of influence, you really should not allow it to have any sort of impact on your emotional health. And here's the tip that I hope helps everybody. I want to remind you, it has an off button. You can turn it off. If you turn it off, it doesn't exist anymore. But this is the difficult part. You're addicted. You're addicted to the phone. You're addicted to the dopamine all the little things give you, okay? You're a drug addict. So what you need to do, that is the challenge. Shut the phone off, bring yourself back into your physical space, focus on the things that physically are in front of you and finding joy in those things again. The love you're surrounded by, your friends, your family, your dog, your cat, whatever, okay? Don't feel like any of those things needs to be compromised with filming it or like, oh, other people need to experience this with me. No, they don't. Live life in your physical space. Find joy again in the things that are in your physical space. And don't let the robot be responsible for what makes your brain feel good, because it's artificial. It's not actually really making your brain feel good. And for every little hit of dopamine that you get from a like or whatever, it also destroys and makes you feel like everything in the world is awful all the time. Because that's most of the content that floats to the top of social media, is just inflammatory and designed to get you stressed out and anxious. So go live life in your physical space. Find a way to enjoy the things within your physical space again. Know that most of your perceived threats and anxiety exist in this phone, and if you shut it off, they're gone. And maybe go hug your dog, okay?
That's actually fantastic advice. I made a video like a couple weeks ago about how I deleted social media from my phone. Well, I blocked it so I can't, because I kept trying to delete it and I would just re-download it and go back on it because I'm an addict, obviously. Hello, hi, I'm Kate. I'm addicted to my phone. And so since then, I've been on basically go on Instagram and TikTok on like Sundays because that's where I find stuff that I can make these videos with. And then the rest of the week I'm not on it. But I did find that when I was going on YouTube, then all of a sudden the shorts found me on YouTube, and I'm looking at the short form content on YouTube and so I've just kind of been trying to stay away from it and stay off of it. I wish I might just get a lockbox for my phone, honestly, because it's been nice to get time back. I'm not spending nearly as much time on it as I was, but it's still too much for me. I still want to get away from it even more than I already have. And I guess it's a start where I'm at with it, but it's so addicting. It truly, truly is. And I think that that's totally true. And what's going on is that everybody since 2020, we all got really addicted to technology. And now your whole life is on there. And life doesn't feel the same as it did prior, because prior, you were doing more things, you were more present, you were more in the moment, in your real life, the tangible things in front of you, instead of just being on the dumb phone all the time. So
Something changed all of us in 2020. And yeah, I am talking about the pandemic, but not the virus part. I'm talking about what came with it. The fear, the lies, the constant chaos pumped through every screen like it was oxygen. That was the year that people stopped trusting, stopped believing, stopped feeling safe, even in their own heads. And it's wild because almost 6 years later, you can still feel that shift hanging in the air. Like something snapped in 2020 and never really healed.
mhm.
Time doesn't even move the same anymore. It's like the world hit pause, but somehow everything got worse in slow motion. Before all that, we actually thought we had control. We thought science had the answers. We thought the media had the facts and leadership had some kind of plan. But then we watched them all contradict themselves over and over while telling us that we're the crazy ones. And now we're living in the aftermath of that gaslight. Everyone's divided. Everyone's drained. Nobody believes anything anymore. So yeah, something did change in 2020, and it wasn't just the world, it was us. We woke up, and the people who built the illusion, they've been panicking ever since. Because once the curtain gets pulled back, once you see the strings, you can't pretend that you don't.
And that's the thing too, not everybody woke up. Like, I don't know if you've talked to people, casually in your everyday life, but there are a lot of people that did not wake up, and they are holding on to the news, to mainstream news, with for dear life. Like, they refuse to believe and accept that they are being fed propaganda in any way, shape, or form. It's very weird. It's very difficult for me to interact with a lot of people, especially some of my family members, I'll be honest. And it's because I will say something to them and they're like, "What, did you hear that on the internet? You idiot. You didn't watch the news. Don't you watch the news?" And it's like, I can't even talk to them anymore because I'm being gaslit constantly and I can't stand it. Like, it's truly exhausting. And it's a shame because I love my family and I want to be able to talk to them and hang out with them and spend time with them. But these issues just come up constantly. The people still watching mainstream news, like, they're on a whole different wavelength than all of us other people who've woken up to what's really going on here. It's very strange, surreal. I don't like it.
Does anyone else feel like 2020 was the last normal year on Earth and everything changed, and then we entered another timeline that may or may not have been caused by CERN opening up a portal, and that we're living on this new timeline and we keep trying to go back to the old one, but it's totally inaccessible to us? Because same.
I said that in a video before. It truly feels like CERN, everybody, obviously they're up to no good. Who knows what they're doing? I don't really understand it, but they're obviously trying to tap into something that humans aren't really supposed to tap into. And I do wonder if in 2020 they did find something that like spun us off into hell. And that's where we are now. And we're just kind of like on this descent and things are getting more difficult for everybody. And yeah, I don't know. Let me know below what you think about CERN and what they're doing.
Y'all, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. But I don't care what you say. People are different since that respiratory virus back in 2020. They're different. People are not the same. You can argue with me all day long if you want to. I don't care. I'm a nurse. I live through it. I work through it. People are not the same. I'm not exactly sure what happened, if it's PTSD, if they didn't get enough oxygen to their brain, but people are just not the same as they were back before that it came. I don't know. I don't know if it's because they were in their house for so long, they just got so used to not dealing with the public. Like I said, if it's because they didn't get enough oxygen to their brain, and now they just have problems like communicating. But people are rude. They just don't know how to act no more. Have you noticed it, or is it just me? Is it just like healthcare people that we notice it more and more? But it ain't just at work that I notice this, y'all. It's just people in general, like in public. And you can tell. You can tell the ones that have been affected. I don't know. And maybe that's not it, but there's something. Something is not the same.
She's totally right. You can tell that there are like certain people who obviously have PTSD. Okay. The people that were convinced that oxygen is bad for them, you can see it on their faces. They have this look in their eye. It's like this blank stare, and they look like, I can't even describe it. But it's very obvious to me that there are a ton of people who actually really need psychological help with coping with what happened and moving forward from it, because it's very obvious that they are really struggling with just going back to normal. Yeah, let me know in the comments below. What do you think of that? Do you agree with that? Do you think that that's not true? Just curious.
Are y'all ready to talk about how it really feels extremely different since 2020? It feels like we're not on the same timeline or in the same world as other people. People you may have known your entire lives, you don't find the connection feeling the same. You're a little bit more reserved, and you are very protective of your space, of your peace. Even when you're in crowds or you're around large groups of people, once you get away from them, you find yourself being depleted. Like somebody just sucked all of the energy out of you, and you have to literally recharge. Like, I miss our old world. I miss the times when nobody cared about who you voted for. They cared about is if you were a good person, if you were fun to be around, if you were funny, if you know, just was a dope person. People actually could take a joke. Nobody was as serious or as sensitive as people are these days. Family was important. A village was necessary. Now, most people barely even talk to their siblings, barely talk to their family members. I get excited just when I'm outside or when I'm out and about and I actually hear children playing and laughing. For Halloween, I didn't see no trick-or-treaters in my neighborhood, no trick-or-treater. Miss when I used to know everybody in my neighborhood, knowing who the people were up the street, knowing who owned the candy store up the block. Miss when stores were 24 hours. You felt safe going in the store after hours, doing a little shopping and going in your car and not have to worry about nobody throwing you in the back of a fucking pickup truck or a van. I miss when famous people had mystery about them. We didn't know so much about their private lives, and when we found out, it was just tea that was spilled, but we didn't stay there. It wasn't an obsession like it is now. We know that racism existed, but it wasn't nothing that was always talked about. If you hated your job, it was no problem for you to just find another one. Like, people embraced being in love. People wanted to be in love. People knew how to have conversations with you in the public eye. You went to a club, the women danced with the men danced with the women, they bought drinks, they had a good time, it was a vibe. It's just so much that has changed, and I don't recognize this reality. I'm here. Physically, spiritually, I feel like I'm somewhere else. Like I'm an alien to this new world, and I'm just trying to blend in.
I feel the exact same way all the time. I went to New York City a couple of days ago, and when I tell you I felt like an alien, I felt like an alien. I don't know if y'all have been to New York City recently, but it is a very strange place. Lots of very strange people who look like there's something going on up here, you know? Very weird, very uncomfortable. It made me realize why I like to stay home and mind my business, because I don't like to be around people anymore. it's uncomfortable. It really is, because we are all living in a different reality, and it's you can't say anything, because if you say the wrong thing, they're offended. You're this, you're that, you're a horrible person, and it's just it's not worth it anymore, which is really sad. I agree with her. I miss life before 2020. I would say, like, for me, probably 2015, the year I graduated high school. That was like the last year that life felt normal for me. And then since then it's just been a weird spiral or something. I don't know. Hold on, I'm gonna pause this music. This is so real. So sad.
My Roman Empire is thinking about how COVID happened and it changed our entire society. Now we just kind of moved on from it and we didn't think about at all how it affected us. And we didn't talk about it at all, the way families just don't talk about trauma and just dump it under the rug and move on. That's what's happened. And now everyone is wondering why society sucks and why there was this downfall and why people are feeling lonely and everything is horrible and our political systems have completely fallen apart. But it's really because of everything that happened in COVID. It was so much more than just a healthcare pandemic. It just upended our society, and we just don't talk about it. Like, we're lonelier, we are sicker, we're more divided, things are shitty, and it's because of all the shit that happened in COVID, and we're just not processing it. We're not processing it.
I really feel we need to acknowledge things have not been the same since COVID. Like, when COVID hit, it's almost like the Avengers movie when Thanos snapped his finger and like 5 years went by. And I feel like it's the same. Millions of people passed away. The job market definitely hasn't been the same. The prices are the prices. It is what it is, unfortunately. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like we pretend like it didn't happen. And we know it happened. But it's like, no, it's almost like everybody experienced the same thing. But it's like this drama, or this not drama, but more of this thing that happened to everybody. It was so dramatic where nobody really wants to talk about it. But like, we need to talk about it, man. Things have not been the same since COVID. Whether people want to say they are, like, to me, before COVID, things were great. I'm just going to be honest with you. Things were great. Life was great. People were great. After COVID, it feels like we came out of a twilight zone. Things are the same, man. And I feel like we need to talk about it more, because we pretend like it didn't happen. And it's so weird. I don't know, man. That's my thought. Chris with the gems.
Does anybody else sort of like accidentally measure time in like before 2020 and after 2020? I feel like COVID just kind of like put a giant marker in measuring time, because I always think to myself like, oh yeah, 2019 before COVID, or like 2020 and after COVID. Well, COVID was still happening in 2021, but like 2020 was like the year. Like, it almost feels like a CE and a BCE type event, like year. Like it feels like a before Common Era and Common Era type event. Like, things are so much more different now. Like, it was just kind of a landmark year where it just kind of, the world changed for better or for worse. Definitely for worse, in my opinion. But like, I was a freshman in high school when that happened. And like, I knew a bunch of seniors who didn't get to do their senior stuff, and like, I didn't get to do stuff, but like, I don't know, it was just like even as a freshman in high school, like, I feel like I'm measuring time as in like before COVID, after COVID. Does anybody else feel that way? Junior in college now, by the way.
You feel like
Yeah. Yeah, things have been really strange since 2020 for sure. I'm really curious your guys' thoughts. Leave comments down below. Let me know what you think about all this. Um I honestly think they need to set up some sort of like helpline for people. Honestly, like people just, I'm telling you, there's people out there that they really seem unhinged to me, and it's been since COVID, and it's clearly because of that time. And they're like off their rocker, and they're just out walking around with everybody else. And I mean, obviously, I feel weird because of COVID too. Like, it way affected me in my life. I'm in a much better spot now than I have been in the last few years. But let me tell you, the biggest thing for me is that I have this weird impending anxiety about my future now that I never had before. But it's this feeling that I don't know if I'm going to live very long, and I don't know how long my life will be. And I feel like something really major, even more major than COVID, is going to happen in my lifetime. And I hate to say that. I don't want that to happen, but I cannot shake that feeling, the feeling of like, I need to be as prepared as possible for shit to hit the fan, because it truly might in my lifetime. Yeah. Let me know if you feel that way too, or do I have PTSD? I mean, that's possible. I might. Anyway, love you guys. Hope to see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye bye.